I came home after a 24-hour shift, but my key didn't fit. My mother-in-law texted, "We need $20,000 for our anniversary trip." That night, I slept outside, shivering. In the morning, my wife left some leftovers with a note, "Your dinner." I smiled, closed our joint account, ended the lease, and drove off in the car I paid for. 52 missed calls later, and the last message was from their lawyer, "Please contact us immediately." You know what your problem is? You think you matter. I stood in front of the door, my door. The key trembled in my fingers, the metal sliding into the lock but refusing to turn. "This is my home," I whispered into the phone, but my mother-in-law's voice only seemed amused. "Not anymore. We changed the locks and stopped calling her. She doesn't want to talk to you." My mind refused to process it. I had worked 24 hours straight, servers crashing, endless calls, users who couldn't find the power button. I came back here barely standing, and yet my key didn't fit. "We need $20,000 for our anniversary trip," she continued, perfectly calm. "Send it today or I'll tell her you've never been the partner she deserves." $20,000. I laughed not because it was funny, but because something inside me cracked. "Where is she?" "She's here, sleeping away from your failures." I tried calling my wife. Voicemail again. Voicemail. Messages unread. I knocked on the door. Once, twice, harder. The empty hallway echoed, my fist pounding against the wood. I sank to the cold floor. My head was spinning. The air felt heavy. This couldn't be real. My phone buzzed. A message, "Family support each other. Stop being selfish." I opened the banking app. Joint account nearly empty. The money I earned, the savings I had built vanished. On what? Jewelry, hotels, shopping, her mother's expenses, family. This wasn't family. This was a swarm of leeches. Hours passed. I sat there shivering on the freezing concrete. The ringing in my ears drowned out everything. Sometime near dawn, the door quietly opened. I looked up, a spark of hope flickering. But it wasn't her, just her hand. Cold, indifferent. She set a plastic container on the floor, leftovers. Cold spaghetti clumped together under a sour layer of sauce. A note on the lid, "Your dinner." The door clicked shut. I stared at the container, at the greasy stains, the dried sauce. My legs were frozen, my fingers stiff, but I didn't feel the cold. Only anger, a quiet, cold anger. I raised my phone, closed the joint account, canceled the lease. My name was the primary on the contract. The car I paid for, the one she always took, was parked downstairs. Mine now. I didn't leave a note. I didn't call. I simply got into the car. The engine roared, and the city lights dissolved into the gray mist. My phone buzzed again. 10 missed calls. 20. 30. 52. But the last one wasn't from her, an unknown number. A voicemail. "This is Lawrence Parker from Hutchkins & Associates. Please contact us immediately regarding a legal matter involving your wife." I smiled, a cold, sharp smile. They wanted a war. They had no idea who they had really crossed. I parked the car outside a cheap motel, the neon sign flickering like a dying heartbeat. Cold wind battered the windows, but I didn't feel it. I stared at the darkness, fingers gripping the steering wheel, my chest a knot of fury and disbelief. They thought they destroyed me, but they had no idea what I could do without their leash. I opened the banking app. Joint account drained. Savings gone. $1,200 a month on groceries I never ate. $800 on utilities I barely used. $5,000 to her mother for medical expenses. A diamond bracelet. $3,000 for a family vacation I wasn't invited to. I was a walking wallet. And they thought I was finished. Not anymore. I logged into my work email. My company ID still worked. Network engineer, a fancy title for the guy who fixed their problems. But today, it was my weapon. I logged in using the admin credentials I still had access to and found it, her old Gmail. Same password I set for her years ago. I was in, and the truth was poison. Her messages with her mother laughing about how they drain me dry. How they take everything. Plans for a luxury anniversary trip, Paris, 5-star hotels, designer shopping. Her mother's words, make sure he pays for everything. He owes you for wasting your time. But worse, a thread with Lawrence Parker, their lawyer. A draft of a separation agreement, my wife's name at the top, my name at the bottom, full financial support, spousal maintenance, half of everything I owned. They weren't just trying to leave me. They were trying to destroy me. I clenched my jaw, but my hands didn't shake. I clicked reply from her email. Lawrence, I have changed my mind. No separation for now. Please hold off on any further action. I will discuss this with my husband personally. Send. Next, I set up an archive rule. Any emails from Lawrence would be stored in a separate folder. Nothing was deleted, just moved aside. It was something I had configured for her before. Let her wonder why he stopped responding. But I wasn't done. I opened our cloud storage. Photos, videos, years of memories, or so I thought. Most of them were of her, her mother, family trips I paid for but never attended. Pictures of her with friends, men I didn't recognize, private chats, flirty messages, proof of her double life, screenshots, videos, a folder named Proof. My phone buzzed again, her mother. I answered but didn't speak. Just silence. Hello? Hello? Are you listening, or are you just pretending again? Her voice snapped like a whip. Stop sulking and send the money. Do you think anyone cares about your little tantrum? I didn't answer. I let her vent. Every insult, every demand. You're nothing without us. Nothing. My daughter wasted her life on you. A failure who never lived up to his promises. I pressed record. I let her scream, her voice twisting with frustration. She had no idea she was being documented. Another file for my collection. Finally, I spoke. Are you done? A beat of silence. Shock. You. How dare you? No, I interrupted, my voice cold, calm. How dare you? You've pushed too far. I won't stay silent anymore. I ended the call. They thought they could destroy me. They had no idea who I really was. I transferred what was left of my money to a new account, locked all shared credit cards, and routed my salary to a new bank. I was free, but they were about to be trapped. By dawn, I had a folder of evidence, messages, recordings, financial statements, a timeline of betrayal. But I wasn't done. I needed to see their faces. I parked a block away from their apartment. I couldn't get inside, but I didn't need to. As a network engineer, I'd installed their home security cameras, smart speakers, Wi-Fi, all of it connected to my account. One tap and I was watching. My wife was pacing the living room, phone clutched in her hand, voice trembling. Mom, he's not answering. What if he knows? What if he dash? Stop panicking, her mother's voice snapped back. He's too stupid to fight back. Just keep pretending you care. He'll give in like he always does. My teeth clenched. I tapped the speaker icon. The living room speakers crackled to life. Pretend you care. My voice boomed through the room. My wife screamed, the phone slipping from her hand. Her mother spun around, eyes wild. Who's there? Who's doing this? I laughed, the sound echoing through the empty walls. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? Did you think I was your fool forever? They were pale, eyes darting around, trapped in their own home. Listen to me, I said, calm, clear. I know everything. The money, the separation agreement, the lies. I have proof, and I'm done being your pawn. You can't do this, her mother shrieked, stumbling toward the door. I already did. I disconnected, leaving them in panicked silence. My phone buzzed. Another call. Lawrence Parker. I let it ring, then a voicemail. Mr. Davis, I think we need to talk. I smiled, a cold, sharp smile. They thought they could erase me, but they had no idea what happens when a man has nothing left to lose. I leaned back in the cheap motel bed, the darkness pressing in like a heavy blanket. My phone lay silent for the first time in hours. 52 missed calls. Messages I didn't bother to read. They were spiraling, panicking because I had slipped out of their grip. But I wasn't done. Not even close. I had the proof. Every message, every lie, every plan they crafted to destroy me. I had their voices, their laughter, their betrayal trapped in a folder I named Proof. And I had something they didn't, a job. A place of strength they couldn't touch. So I showered, dressed, and drove. I wasn't running. I was going back to the one place they didn't control, my office, my fortress. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead as I sat at my desk, watching the lines of code dance across the screen. But my focus wasn't on the work. It was on them, those who thought I was finished. Unknown number. Lawrence Parker. Mr. Davis, we need to talk. Your actions have caused significant distress to my clients. Distress? That was only the beginning. I clicked open the folder, Proof. Messages between my wife and her mother. He's so clueless. He won't even see it coming. Voice recordings. He's a loser. We carried him for years and he never even noticed. Pictures. Her with other men. Her flirty messages. The draft of the divorce agreement crafted with Lawrence Parker. They wanted to rip my life apart. They thought I would beg, that I would crumble. But the hunter was now the prey. A new notification flashed on my screen. Security alert. I switched to the camera feed. They were in the lobby, my wife, her mother, and Lawrence Parker. My wife was gripping Parker's arm, crying. Her mother was shouting at the security guard, waving her hands like a madwoman. Parker tried to keep his composure, but I saw the tension in his face. Perfect. My phone rang again. Security. Mr. Davis, 3 individuals are demanding to see you. They're causing a scene. I smiled. Let them in. They burst into the glass-walled conference room like a storm. My wife's mascara was streaked, her eyes red. Her mother looked ready to claw someone's face off. Lawrence Parker stepped in last, trying to look calm, but clearly on edge. Finally decided to stop hiding, her mother spat, hands clenched. You think you can just lock us out? Steal everything? Steal? I leaned back, crossing my arms. Interesting choice of words. Please, my wife stepped forward, her voice breaking. Let's just talk. We can fix this. We can fix Dash. I laughed. You mean lie? Manipulate. Use me. Parker raised his hand. Mr. Davis, we are here to resolve this amicably. Your actions have caused significant emotional distress to my clients. Let's not escalate this Dash. Amicably? I tapped my phone. Sure, let's be honest, then. I hit play. Her mother's voice echoed through the room. He's a loser. We'll drain him dry and he won't even know. Her mother's face drained of color. That's fake, she screeched. You edited that. Fake. I switched to another file. They're messages. Just tell him you love him. He'll fold. He always does. My wife stumbled back, covering her mouth. Stop it, she cried. That's not I didn't Dash. Oh, but you did. I smiled, opening another document, the divorce agreement drafted by Lawrence Parker. Half my assets. Full financial support. But you forgot something. Parker's eyes widened. Mr. Davis, I cannot discuss private client matters without their consent. Your consent? I laughed. You're their weapon, aren't you? You thought I was a helpless fool. Listen, you Dash, her mother lunged forward, but I stood, my voice cutting through her rage. This is my workplace. Cameras are recording. Your aggression is on file. Your threats documented. You wanted a fight. Now you have it. My wife grabbed my arm, tears streaming down her face. Please, we can talk. I didn't mean for this to didn't mean Dash. I pulled free. You planned it. You used me. Parker stepped forward. Mr. Davis, please. We can discuss terms. We don't have to turn this into a legal battle. Terms? I stepped closer, staring him down. You wanted me to be your victim. But now every cent will be accounted for legally. I turned away, heading for the door. My wife's sobs filled the room, her mother's voice screeching in anger. "Mr. Davis," Parker called out. "Please, we can find a solution." I paused at the door, not even looking back. "You had your chance. Now you'll watch the truth tear down your lies." I walked out, leaving them trapped in their own lies. Back in my office, I closed the door, leaning against it. My heart raced, but it wasn't fear. It was clarity. For the first time in years, I wasn't the fool. My phone vibrated. A new message from Lawrence Parker. "Mr. Davis, I strongly advise we talk. The situation can be resolved amicably." I smiled. They were desperate. Perfect. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the cold glow of my monitor. Silence filled the office, broken only by the hum of the air conditioning. Outside the glass walls, my colleagues moved in quiet focus, unaware of the storm I had unleashed. They thought I was done, that I would fold, apologize, beg for forgiveness. But they didn't understand. The silence wasn't defeat. It was control. The phone vibrated. Lawrence Parker's name flashed on the screen. The once confident lawyer, now desperate. I let it ring once. Twice. Then I answered, letting my voice remain calm, almost bored. "Mr. Davis, please. They're in a terrible situation. They want to resolve this peacefully." Peacefully? I let the word sit, cold and sharp. Did they care about peace when they drained my account? When they laughed at me? Silence stretched. I imagined him sitting in his polished office, struggling to maintain composure. They're willing to negotiate. Negotiate? I laughed, the sound slicing through the quiet. They didn't negotiate when they spent my money. When they turned me into their personal ATM. "Mr. Davis, they don't have that kind of money right now. They're struggling. Not my problem. $32,000 in full. No installments, no excuses. Or I take them to court and I'll expose every lie they built their case on." He hesitated, the silence thick and heavy. "Give me a day. Until tomorrow." I ended the call, my fingers resting calmly on the desk. They thought they were hunters. They never realized they were the prey. That night, I went home, the darkness wrapping around me like a cloak. I cooked a simple meal, something I hadn't done in years. The sizzle of the pan, the smell of spices, I was alive. Every bite tasted like victory. The next morning, my phone rang again. Lawrence Parker's name. This time, his voice was careful, the confidence stripped away. "Mr. Davis, they've agreed. You will have your money in full." "Good. And one more thing, they will sign a written agreement never to contact me again." A pause, then a defeated sigh. Understood. I almost felt pity. Almost. An hour later, an email notification flashed. An official document from Parker's office, full repayment of $32,000, a signed agreement that neither my wife nor her mother would contact me again. I read it twice, the satisfaction like a cold blade sliding into place. They thought they could use me forever. Now they were the ones crushed beneath their greed. The next morning, I logged into my bank account. $32,000 deposited, every cent. The numbers on the screen were more than money. They were proof. Proof that I wasn't the fool they thought I was. And then the messages began. My phone buzzed again and again. Desperation. "We lost everything because of you." Her mother. "Please, just talk to me. We can fix this." My wife. I didn't respond. I didn't block them. I let their words pour in, powerless. Let them watch as they screamed into the void. Then another message, "Lawrence Parker. They have nothing left. Are you satisfied?" I stared at the text, the words stark against the screen. Satisfied. I wasn't just satisfied. I was free. I typed back, each letter crisp and clear, perfectly. I placed the phone on the desk, leaned back, and closed my eyes. Outside, the city pulsed with life, endless and indifferent. But here, in this quiet, I had everything I needed. I was not their victim, not their tool. I was the storm they never saw coming. The courthouse was quiet, almost empty. A bored clerk glanced up, stamped the papers, and handed them back to me. I stared at the divorce decree, my name and hers separated by a thin black line. It was done. No arguments, no second chances, just a clean cut. I walked out into the cool air, breathing in freedom. It didn't hurt. It didn't even feel bittersweet. It felt like sunlight after a storm. But that didn't mean they were done. My phone buzzed her name, then another her mother. Voicemails piling up. Please, can we just talk? I was wrong. I love you. I never meant to hurt you. Her voice cracked in every message. Desperation, regret, lies wearing a new mask. I didn't answer. That night, I stood by the window of my apartment, city lights shimmering below. Another call, another voicemail. You can't just abandon us. We're family. Her mother's voice twisted with rage. You ruined everything. I smiled, letting the phone drop onto the table. Family? That wasn't family. Family supports, protects. Family doesn't bleed you dry, then blame you for the mess they made. Days turned to weeks. The calls didn't stop, but I didn't care. Work was quiet, productive. I felt stronger, faster, clearer. My reflection in the elevator didn't look tired anymore. I picked up old hobbies, reading, running, cooking for myself. Simple things that felt like luxury now. I'd forgotten how good fresh coffee smelled in the morning. How peaceful a quiet Sunday could be. I filled my life with little joys they never let me have. But they didn't stop. My wife's messages shifted from desperate to bitter. You're heartless. We're suffering and you don't even care. Her mother tried a different tactic. We took care of you. We gave you a home. Is this how you repay us? A home? Their home was a cage. I wasn't living. I was financing their lives while they laughed behind my back. I never replied. I didn't have to. Silence was the only answer they deserved. One evening, a new message appeared, Lawrence Parker. They are completely ruined. They have nothing left. Are you sure you want this to continue? I stared at the message, imagining him sitting in his polished office, trying to sound reasonable, trying to save them. Save himself. I smiled. Yes. They thought I was their victim, a fool who would keep giving until there was nothing left of me. They didn't understand. I was done being their tool, their wallet, their punching bag. They didn't know what it meant to lose everything. Not until now. For so long, I thought I was building a family. I was just financing their lifestyle. I let them turn love into a transaction, respect into control. But not anymore. I wasn't running from them. I was walking away because I finally understood the only way to win was to leave them behind. Their silence became the loudest peace I had ever known. I woke up to quiet mornings, the sun spilling across my bed without the shadow of their demands. I spent weekends exploring the city, trying new foods, rediscovering the world I had forgotten. One day, I found myself laughing over a cup of coffee at a small cafe. A genuine, carefree laugh, a sound I hadn't heard from myself in years. Standing on my balcony, watching the city lights blink against the dark sky, I let myself breathe. I didn't lose a wife. I didn't lose a family. I lost people who pretended to care. And I gained a life that was finally mine.